A good morning to you all. Thanks for joining us on Alive this morning, and a happy Eid al-Maulud to all our Muslim brothers out there. We really appreciate your view, your opinion on this program, and we wish you all the best in your celebration today. And as usual, I have my people who I do this with. I have this morning Damilola Aina.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dami. How are you? I'm fine.
Yes, let me use the opportunity to say Happy Eid al-Maulud to our Muslim brothers. This is the celebration of the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad. Happy birthday to the Muslim fellas. Good morning.
All right, and we also have a media consultant / public analyst, Femi Fafiebi. Femi Fafiebi, you're welcome.
It's my pleasure to be here this morning. I wish, just in the same vein with my two sisters here, I wish all our Muslim brothers and sisters happy Eid al-Maulud.
Nice to have you around.
Of course. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. And we'll be starting with the paper review this morning. And Dami is going to take us on the ride.
Once again, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have OPS kicks as Labour vows to shut down airports on others Tuesday. Federal government Labour leaders meeting holds Tuesday. Tinubu to unveil workers' package October 1st. MAN others warn of massive economic losses. Government foot dragging on workers' demand. NLC. And Cardoso to clear dollar debt. Sudden intervention loans. Full car, others import gulp $4 to $6 billion annually, says the federal government. Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tariq Lagbaja, and other top Army officers during the opening of the Nigerian Army Seminar on Aviation Security Awareness at the Army Headquarters, Abuja, on Tuesday. That's what we have on the page. The Eid al-Maulud, pray for Nigeria, Tinubu tells Muslims. Then landlord bats 11-year-old with hot water. That's on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. And page 7 of the Punch newspaper says, INEC unveils Edo polls timetable. And that's what we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Over to you, Tante.
And before we come to the Tribune this morning, I would really want to talk about the landlord pouring hot water on an innocent child that probably didn't do anything. And for God's sake, the child is just a child and is 11 years old. It is really not proper that someone would just feel like hurting another person's child, no matter what happened. That is not the way out.
He's a very callous
That is really,
man.
Yes, he is really a callous person. Of course, he should be brought to book.
That's very inhumane to pour the level. You can imagine the degree of hot water and you're using it on a child. I mean, I can't understand what is really going on. I don't know what has gone through his mind to do that, but he should face the consequence.
Of course, he should face the consequences of his action.
Yes.
Because before you do something, you should definitely know there's something that is going to go after it. So before he did it, he should know that was a wrong thing, and there's a consequence after what he has done. So he should be probed, and he should be dealt with.
True. And
going to Tribune this morning, we have pork eating. How state officials deceived me after collecting 20 million naira for games. Oyebanji. Coroner's inquest into Mohbad's death begins Friday. Reps observe a minute silence once thorough probe. Nominations open for 2023 Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize. And then we still have NLC, TUC to begin indefinite strike October 3rd. Well, let's see how that goes. It has always been, happening back and forth. So we don't really know how that is going to be. But I think we'll have to discuss it when we come to a live discourse. And going ahead, we have how Forex issues inflation will be tackled. CBN governor promises $1 trillion GDP in 8 years. Senate confirms him 4 deputy governors. And Afenifere laments worsening insecurity, decries gruesome killing of security personnel. And we have INEC fixes September, November 2024 for Edo, Ondo, Guba elections. And we also have over 48 medical doctors kidnapped in 2 years. Wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Court stops impeachment of Ondo deputy governor. Court can't stop your impeachment process, Ondo speaker tells Ayedatiwa. And we have proof federal government holding secret talks with bandits, Zamfara government. Whatever it is, security or insecurity, let's say, in Nigeria is becoming a worrisome situation these days. The security personnel are now being attacked. How can we feel safe as people who are being, supposed to be protected by these people, and they are the ones now being attacked and actually being killed? You who don't have a gun, you're seeing how these things are happening.
Exactly.
You're seeing how someone who has a gun is being killed, and you who doesn't have a gun, how do you go about living your life in a free, mind?
How do you cope?
How do you cope? So these are some of the things that we really, really need to, talk or go into. The federal government has to look into.
Very well. With whatever it is, whatever it should take them, they should find a lasting solution.
Of course. And Dami, what is the next newspaper we're taking?
We're looking at Daily Trust this morning. The front page says, Leah Sharibu dumps first husband, remarries another ISWAP commander. Shettima says economy will pick up in 15 months. The same front page says that tribunal upholds Governor Inuwa Yahaya's re-election and dismisses PDP's petition. Zamfara varsity abduction. Survivors narrate ordeal in hands of bandits. My son, granddaughter, over 50 others abducted. So says an eyewitness. Varsity not fenced, poorly policed. Attack deterred on institution. And same here, this made it to this as well. Tinubu, Shettima, Atiku, Akpabio, Burrell preach tolerance on Malud. Labour to embark on indefinite strike, October 3rd. Circumstances surrounding Mohbad's death will be unveiled in due time, says Naira Marley. Then this same page says there's a picture that depicts this. It says Eagle Pass, U.S. Venezuelan crawl through a hole in Razor where to cross into Texas at the U.S.-Mexico border. Here again it says Forex crisis, transparent rules are my immediate priorities, says Cardoso, the governor of CBN. And that's what we have on Daily Trust.
Cardoso is coming up strong with some promises.
Yes.
I hope
we are waiting.
He is going to keep to. And going to the Nation's newspaper this morning, we have Obaseki asks Shaibu to drop governorship ambition. That is interesting. And Tinubu okays purchase of 12 attack helicopters, and that is very, very, good. We have been talking about our security and how people are feeling very, very insecure these days. So we really need to having this kind of gadgets, especially in Nigeria now. Mulud Nabi, president, others facilitate Muslims. How Abiodun is driving through OGFTZ. Sorry, I'm not saying this clearly.
Okay, yes.
And then
FDL.
Okay.
FDL.
And another one is how I will tackle inflation, Naira Forex crisis by Cardoso. Just the way we've been saying, Cardoso is coming up strong with some promises, and we just hope that he is going to stick to what he is coming to, what he's bringing up, because we can't just keep collecting empty promises. And that is also what is bringing up the issue between the NLC, TUC, going on strike, because they feel like the federal government is not actually hearing or agreeing, hitting to their call or telling them this is what we want, please do it or implement it. And the back and forth is not that we are not doing it. The back and forth has always been like, we are working on it. So they want to know, to be specific. They want to understand what is
Hit the
really
nail on the
happening.
head. Which way forward?
Which way forward?
Yes.
And that is what they're saying. And they're saying they are going on strike on indefinite strike on the 3rd of October. So please, the federal government should always, try.
Messy.
Of course, people are suffering and people are,
Honestly.
yes. So another thing I want us to talk about is Obaseki asking Shuaibu to drop the governorship ambition. It is, he asked Obaseki for forgiveness.
Yes.
And I can remember somebody was asking, if he's asking for the forgiveness, has he dropped his ambition of being the governor? You understand?
Yes.
Because you can. That was the problem from the onset.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me you're asking me to forgive you on something you're still going ahead to do. And Obaseki is not coming out clearly. And Obaseki has been straightforward with Shuaibu.
And that I appreciate.
Yeah.
And Shuaibu, I'm sure Shuaibu knows what he should do with his governor.
Of course.
With this kind of situation, sometimes I think it's more like a man and a woman who are married, and they need to understand themselves. If they do not understand themselves, they will fall apart.
Of course.
And to say the least, I think this is what is actually happening in Edo State. So Shuaibu should find a way to balance the situation. If he wants to jettison the position as deputy of Edo State, then he should jettison it. Then focus on his governorship ambition. But let's see how it goes.
Of course, we'll see how it goes. But before we go, on to the next segment, we'll have to hear from Fafi Ebi what you feel about Obaseki and Shuaibu's situation.
Yes, so
okay, I'm really curious. I'm really interested in talking about that.
Okay.
Because I feel, honestly, that even if both of them have differences as far as the political ambition of Shuaibu is concerned, they should be able to resolve it in a matured manner. The bickerings and the witch hunting and all that, I don't think we should be seeing that at this stage of Nigeria's democratic process. People that are in government there, I believe most of them should be willing to demonstrate more maturity and,
calm.
Yes, to be able
Political
to
calm.
some self-control. A higher level of self-control. You see, because they are supposed to be husbands in their families. Men who hold sway, who hold authority over so many other people. So if you cannot control your emotions and you begin to go public with all your quarrels and arguments over positions, over power, I think it leaves so much to be desired. So they should bring in some level, like she said, Damilola, they need to bring in some level of maturity to whatever they are doing. They need to be more circumspect about whatever they are doing. They should go into meetings, sit down with each other and iron out these things. They don't need to go so public all the time, because it makes us to feel, some of us, including my humble self, that these people are not, they are not worthy of
being leaders, actually.
Yes, because we have younger people
looking up to them.
So if you keep on fighting all the time just because of position and whatever,
and APC chieftain said it. He said they are acting as if they don't even know the position that the Edo State government has given to them. They are not giving them they are not representing them. It is more like they are just doing it for their selfish reasons.
Look at when I saw the video. Speaking of what you just said, I saw the video and the guy was actually the man, the deputy was.
The deputy,
he was saying they've locked me. The video. It was a dramatic. It was like an expository, drama.
Yeah.
So I'm like in
It
my
was
head.
scripted, actually.
It was dramatic. I didn't think that. Do you know what it means to be a deputy governor? That means he is a second citizen of that state.
So you are not supposed to.
I would have looked at him to do something more professional, more mature, and he would handle it as such.
Something more discreet.
Yes, but because we are Nigerians and we have our style to doing this, maybe or perhaps that's why Mr. Shuaibu, pardon me, so I don't murder his name, would have gone that way. But I think moving forward with all the display, I'm sure that there will be a change in no time.
I really do hope so.
Yeah, I believe so. With this display,
they need to make a positive impact on the public, particularly the youths who are.
No, there's been comments about the their acts, the visuals, the back and forth between the governor, the governor and his vice. And comments have been going on like, what are they really up to? You know, you'll be hearing different things from the youth or whatever. So, but there will be a way out.
They should.
They will.
Mine is, should I be coming out to ask Obaseki for forgiveness?
Yeah, I think that is
it from the onset? Is it that he didn't know that his action was going to be, accepted this way or approached this way, and the way it is, and that is why he's now trying to.
You must understand that this is Nigeria.
I'm telling you.
They must play politics like politics. This is there's a musical, when you're in a theater, there are displays that you must do in the theater. Okay. And this is politics in Nigeria. There's a display to politics in Nigeria.
Brand of politics.
Exactly. So
it's very funny that our own Nigeria brand of politics is our own leaders coming now to always act drama.
Unfortunately.
And we are watching it. Yes. And you expect us tomorrow to support you, to want you to come on seat.
Yes, exactly.
To lead us.
Yourself capable enough of.
I was really disappointed actually. I expected more of them. I expected more from them, knowing that they hold a very sensitive position in Nigeria, especially in a state like Edo State. I mean, I'm sure they will look into it. I mean, it's something that they should look into.
Of course,
and all eyes are on them. What I also looked at here is about 48 medical doctors kidnapped. 48.
That is very serious.
How do we save our
Talking
people?
about the insecurity.
Yes.
That is quite serious.
I mean, imagine that some people are in a hospital and at the mercy of doctors. We don't even have enough doctors.
Exactly.
There's a brain drain already, and we have 48 kidnapped. What are the kidnappers looking at? What are they looking for with doctors? Please, can we talk about it?
That's a $1 million question. So I only want to look at it from this perspective that the kidnappers, the bandits, and the rest of them are still trying to play their game the way they want to play it. They want money. Okay, especially now that the economy seems to be, in a state of turbulence. It is only normal, regular people that will be able to hold their heads up and still try to behave normally. People who have gone round the bend or over the bend, they will just become more,
susceptible.
More, their activities and actions will become more acute in whatever bad, things they are doing. So I think the security agencies need to, work hard. I know they are trying.
They should up their game too.
They will need to.
Because how do we get these 48 medical doctors released? And what do they need from the 48 medical doctors? Is it the money? Is it medical service? Could it be medical service? Maybe our armies have shot them in the leg, in the arm, in the brain, and they need the medical doctors to come to their aid. Because I can't understand.
I don't think you've said anything specifically about these doctors we're talking about.
Recently in Nigeria, let's not say it's not recently. Insecurity in Nigeria generally is always seen as political.
It has political undertones.
Yes, it has political undertones because they can't keep all the sectors. If you check it, is it the medical? Is it the education? Wherever you turn to, you will see people like going through, I don't know, some kind of situation because I feel like this government, probably there's something or someone somewhere who is trying to sabotage whatever is happening or whatever this government is trying to do. Yes, so that, they will say at the end, we said APC is not good for you. And you said what? Okay, see it, this is it. Exactly. And before even talking about the fuel subsidy, when it started, someone came out to say, let's watch and see. Someone somewhere will make this thing look out of hand for his own selfish and greedy purposes. And it has always been the pattern. And I don't really know why. And we Nigerian people, I just feel like sometimes we keep bringing in people who we don't really see. It's more like we don't really want people who really work in honesty for us.
Exactly.
To be honest, we don't like honest politicians. We don't like honest leaders. Honest leaders are never liked. Honest leaders I never like. If people are against you, know that you're doing something right. And it's really funny that when you're doing something right, that's when people don't like you. And most people who you see people are liking are the people who don't really do anything, who don't contribute nothing. But they're empty, and people are just, okay, come, see me, I am here. But anybody who knows exactly what he's doing will definitely face people, because people will always be against him. And I don't really know why this government, or let's say why our government or our people approach government that way. If we're against a government, you will see all the bad words. You are Nigerian, you live in Nigeria. Sometimes I just feel like you are saying all those things. It is more like you're cursing the nation. If you're cursing the nation, you are still in the nation. You have not left. You probably will not leave. Yeah, it is ready to bounce on you.
Look now, speaking of what you just said, OPS kicks as Labour vows to shut down airports and others on Tuesday. Now they're going to shut down the airports on Tuesday. So if you want to travel,
I'll still travel.
You cannot travel on Tuesday. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do now? Look, it's like a music in my head. Labour, TUC. We want to go on strike. So I mean, the picture in my head is, I want to know how they're going to display this time around. I've seen the video and visuals of how, they actually protest. They had a protest earlier on. The one in protest. Yeah. Now they're saying that they want to shut down airports. I mean, that's federation. Nationally.
On a national level.
Yes.
Well, this is something I believe is going to hurt Nigeria's economy the more. And so I would want to, just say to the NLC that they should please sheath their swords for now. As far as the strike is concerned, I know they've been pushed they've been pushed to the wall. But it will still be an act of maturity if they can, try to find some, unusual angles through which they can hold the government to their promises. Because, on a serious note, I think sometimes why NLC would always want to talk about, strikes is just because they feel that government is not,
coming out strong,
goodwill, to the promises that they've made to them over time. So I think this time around, government should please go the extra mile to make sure that they convince them that we really want to do this for them.
But did you think that shutting down the airports would make the government sit up?
Well, that is what the NLC believes in. That is how the game has been played for so many years. Just like we talked about their politics the other time.
Okay.
There's a way Nigerians play their own politics. There's a way NLC also,
because we are unique people.
Yes. Exactly.
You mentioned the government coming up strong. Probably the government is not coming as strong as the NLC would want.
Not feeling that they are serious about fulfilling their promises.
But then, don't we feel like the NLC is pushing? Do you think? Let me hear from your own opinion. Do you think the NLC is pushing too hard, considering the fact that this government is actually new, and with so many policies and the challenges definitely the met on ground, and the one that is still accumulating? Because either we like it or not, no matter how good a government is, it has its own faults too. So with accumulated challenges that were there and the ones that are still coming up, do you feel NLC is pushing too hard, or you feel the push is okay by this time?
I wouldn't say NLC is pushing too hard, like that. But at the same time, I'm feeling they can push in a little different direction. Let them, sometimes when you sit down and you analyze situations that you're facing, there could be other ways of solving a particular problem. But because most of us, we have this mindset of, okay, maybe I've used this particular approach or style, it has worked for me. And then we tend to want to stick to it. That's a kind of conservativeness, on the part of a lot of people. But if they can just sit down, that is the top echelon of, NLC, and they try to see if there are other angles they could exploit to hold the government to its words, I believe it's going to be better. Because they actually need to do some pushing, but to get results has to be in the right direction. That's just my take on that.
We hope so. We hope that the federal government looks into it and turns out their judgment or whatever they want to do with mercy.
In fact, sorry to say this. Yes. Now that you said they are supposed. You read somewhere there that they're supposed to have a meeting now, maybe on Tuesday.
Yes.
That could be a result of the push. Okay. The pushing. Perhaps if the government comes back with them to the negotiation team.
Well, but the pushing has been there for a while now.
Yes, that's,
you know,
that's why I say government also needs to go the extra mile.
Okay.
Show them
Now, but speaking of government going extra mile, Femi,
exactly.
Tinubu is to unveil workers' package October 1st.
To review.
Unveil workers'
Unveil,
package.
oh, okay.
Unveil the package. Tante.
Okay, that means there is
So,
a package.
it looks
like
like
they should calm down.
they should calm down.
Yes.
President is
You
trying to
understand?
look for a way to balance these things. And so if he unveils workers' package October 1st and they plan October 3rd strike, what if a miracle happens?
Well, that is why
It's even-
I think they will have to wait to see what happens October
Exactly,
1st
exactly.
before they will say, okay, we are going on strike or not.
Absolutely. I'm hoping and praying and believing that by the time the president unveils that package, I want to believe
To be beneficial
that
to
they
all of them.
would
Yes.
see some, very encouraging, outcomes from whatever the president is going to unveil, such that they will be ready to back down.
To be honest, and I think that just the way you said, the president should put, or the government should
as
put
a
a
whole.
little bit more effort in, handling this, because people are actually suffering.
Yes.
A lot of
The
them.
economy is
A
not
lot of
funny.
tension,
Yeah, speaking of tension and economy, Shetima says
lot of
that
tension.
economy will pick up in 15 months. 15 months means that's a year and 3 months.
Yeah. A year
And
three
Shetima
months.
is telling us the economy will pick up. I'm holding Shetima for
That
president.
he is just
Words.
that means we should be hopeful that good things are coming.
No, for him to say 15 months, he must have seen something
in the
yes,
sense that
and say, look, if we do it this way, we'll
and
have
do it that
results.
way. Well, that could be. I mean, that's possible. He could have, put some kind of 2 and 2 together and seen some.
Check.
Because sometimes in the government you project. And you see some things coming here and there because they are
They're there.
in there. They know how
To see things for
the whole thing
themselves.
is working out. Perhaps we should just give it.
So that means in a year, 3 months,
I
maybe
see.
I as a Nigerian will start to have salaries.
Salary.
From federal government, not from my own personal person. You understand what I'm saying? Because for him to be very confident to speak to Nigerians, because Nigerians would hold you to your words.
Of course.
Nigeria is no longer the Nigeria of 1991.
Of course.
This is the Nigeria of the millennium. So we'll want to
It's
know.
not Nigeria.
Yes.
And one thing with our people is that when you say something, they oversee it. They see it more than they see what
see beyond
they see beyond what you are trying to say,
Yes.
so that they judge you at the end of it. Actually, when it doesn't happen,
That's normal for any society. When you talk, people interpret it. They attach so many, other things to it.
But I think this government is actually audible enough. The government has been saying it in different ways, that people should calm down. A lot of things, they met a lot of things that
lot on it.
were
Nothing
not,
had gone
had
wrong.
gone wrong.
You
So if the foundation is bad, we have to settle it first before, we talk about the building. So we should calm down and take care of whatever is happening now, so that at the end we will enjoy. It is not magic. It is not magic. They just came and they have to settle a lot of, it is not just the medical doctor's issue they are going to settle. It is not security.
But almost
It is
all
everything.
sectors.
All sectors.
For me, needs attention.
All sectors. The farmers are crying.
Education.
And before people who are staying in the cities run to the village for safety. It is not more like that. It is not longer
Unknown
so.
gunmen
You have
everywhere.
to, even in the city, actually, you have the unknown gunmen. So in the villages, you have the unknown. In fact, they are being attacked the more. When they go to to their farms, they get attacked, and that is, most of them, that is their source of livelihood. That is what they
I
use,
can tell you,
to take care of
this
themselves.
government will be the most hard-working government because they have.
I foresee that too.
They have a lot to tackle. Honestly, look at this now. The government foot dragging on workers' demand. The government is dragging their foot, dragging on workers' demand. We don't even know what they are demanding for. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Basically, yeah, I think, sorry to cut you,
Tante.
Tante. I like that.
Oh.
So, it's like what they really want, I believe, is just that government, should be, serious about whatever they promise. Make a promise and fulfill it. Because a promise is a debt. If you have made promises to the people, you should be able to follow it up.
Of course.
Basically, that's just it.
And that's what we've been talking about, government dragging food, but that is what NLC feels that the government is doing.
Yeah.
And the government is actually saying that they are trying to make sure, some things are being put in place. But NLC is saying what you're doing is not, you're slowing down, you're slowing us down too, and our people, and they have said something, they said, the NLC say their people are tired of them coming to give them promises that the government have said. They said they would do this, they said they would do that. They've been having meetings back and forth. They want to know exactly what is happening, and that is why, the NLC is also saying the government is dragging foot. But I feel that we should give the government a little bit of chance, and things are going to work out well. What do you think?
Yes, I hope so too, because we already discussed it on the day that the president unveils that package. I believe it's going to hold out some olive branches, to the people, such that that strike. I believe NLC will shelve it.
Yeah, I believe so too.
strongly.
Okay. Well, I can see that Cardoso is on almost all the front pages, and it's saying clearly that Cardoso to clear dollar debt, suspend intervention loans. And now Senate confirms new CBN governor. Deputies, anchor borrowers program, agreed schemes may be terminated. This is on the page 11. So it looks like Cardoso is coming out really strong, and he's saying a lot about this dollar debt and is suspending intervention loans.
Well, let's hope.
I would want to say that for the new CBN governor, Cardoso, we should also look at it from the point of view of the fact that he is qualified to handle that office, and that's why he was put there in the first place. And of course, the Senate, approved of him, along with 4 other deputy governors. So we read in the news, and from what he has outlined, I'm sure he has something in stock, for Nigeria's economy. But we all only need to, like we've said in other issues, concerning other issues, we really need to be a bit patient and see what he has to unfold, to the Nigerian public, especially as far as some of the specifics he mentioned are concerned. This is something that would span a period of time.
Okay.
I'm talking specifically of the GDP that he mentioned. This is 8 long years, but I know that for a serious government official, you need to look beyond your tenure as an office holder in whatever capacity you're operating. You need to look beyond your tenure. So I believe that in saying 8 years, he probably knows that this whatever policies is unveiling or that is implementing would be for a long-term solution to Nigeria's economic woes.
I totally agree with what you just said now.
Yeah.
And that is what our leaders don't actually do. They don't see beyond, their tenure. They just see, in or within what they can do at the time just to save the situation. But we really need to, or our leaders, our Nigerian leaders really need to know that whatever they are doing, they should look beyond the time they are in office. If you go out of office, what really happens to the people or what you have left behind.
Exactly.
I will continue with the discussion, but for now we have to go on a short break and we'll be right back.
trip and it has to go smoothly. I have my card and I'm hoping that everybody has.
At the breaking of the day, I thank my maker, say I see today. The
My
clouds.
experience on the train, this is a welcome development, for Lagos. It was really, it was fast, and then we're able to get to our destination pretty okay. With this new innovation, I believe that traffic management will be way better in Lagos. Overall experience, it's an amazing innovation. and I look forward to more innovations like this in Lagos. Thank you.
From the fury of yesterday to fame.
The experience was very electrifying, very interesting. The students we brought really enjoyed the experience. We are from Lagos State Resident Registration Agency. Our card like ID card could also be used to board the train. My experience was very smooth. The landing was very subtle. I really enjoyed it. And for commuters coming in from 2 to Marina, it's going to be a smooth ride. You have nothing to worry about. Understand that it's a fully energized train. Okay, so the speed and the travel time will be really, really reduced, unlike maybe flying a BRT or a public bus. It's going to be a very subtle experience.
Excited. It was her first trip on the train today, and we came from Egomu to Marina, and it was very smooth.
Is it seamless?
It was seamless.
Did you enjoy the Wi-Fi as well?
Yeah. Oh, there is Wi-Fi.
There's free Wi-Fi. There's free Wi-Fi.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare, the federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the sectarian. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalin day before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
This is a maiden trip and it has to go smoothly. I have my card, and I'm hoping that everybody has.
At the breaking of the day, I thank my maker, say I see today. The
My
clouds.
experience on the train, this is a welcome development, for Lagos. I was really, it was fast, and then we're able to get to our destination pretty okay. With this new innovation, I believe that traffic management will be way better in Lagos. Overall experience, it's an amazing innovation, and I look forward to more innovations like this in Lagos. Thank you.
From the fury of yesterday to fade.
The experience was very electrifying, very interesting. The students we brought really enjoyed the experience. We are from Lagos State Resident Registration Agency. Our card, like ID card, could also be used to board the train. My experience was very smooth. The landing was very subtle. I really enjoyed it. And for commuters coming in from 2 to Marina, it's going to be a smooth ride. You have nothing to worry about. Understand that it's a fully energized train. Okay, so the speed and the travel time will be really, really reduced, unlike maybe flying a BRT or a public bus. It's going to be a very subtle experience.
Still excited. It was her first trip on the train today, and we came from Egomu to Marina, and it was very smooth.
Is it seamless?
It was seamless.
Did you enjoy the Wi-Fi as well?
Yeah. Oh, there is Wi-Fi.
There's free Wi-Fi. There's free Wi-Fi.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare, the federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the secretariat. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalinde before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare, the federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the secretariat. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalinde before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Reduce it now. Well, welcome back. And on the next segment, we have a guest with us on Zoom who will be joining us shortly. He's Professor Abidin Olaitan, a seasoned academician with a wealth of experience in crop production. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. Professor Abidin, can you hear us? Well, we hardly can hear Professor Abidin, but would like to talk about, insecurity and, the experience in crop production and talking about farmers and herders and all that. But
And
if he gets to hear us, yeah.
Can you hear us now, Professor?
Well, I
we
think,
lost him.
we lost him, so we'll definitely come back to him.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
okay.
Well, we'll have to come back to that. Let's
move.
move to another thing because we have actually some stories we need to check.
Yes.
The federal government,
Yeah.
is talking about a low-key celebration this time around for the Independence Day. Can he hear us now?
Are you there, sir?
Well, going ahead, just as I've said, the federal government has said that the Independence Day celebration this time around is going to be subdued. Some leaders, usually we have foreign leaders who come into the country to do the celebration with us, but the president is saying things are not moving on as he would want. So he would want us to do the celebration on a low key, just amongst ourselves, just thinking about all the good things and all the bad things and all the things that we need to, as Nigerians, appreciate God for. Yeah, and this is actually a time, it is not a time for people to sit down and say, what has the government done? So why are we celebrating independence? No, it is a time for us to reflect on all the good things that the Lord has done for us as Nigerians, as a nation.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a time for sober reflection,
Absolutely.
introspection, and retrospection. It's a time for us to come together and say, which way forward? I know that Nigeria has passed through a whole lot. As a people, as citizens, we have gone through a lot. And I must commend us. We're the good ones that are not doing the killings. We're not doing the, the bad things. I must commend you, Nigerians. We're doing well. So right now, October 1st, I'm looking up to October 1st because we will be 63. Nigeria will be 63. We have come far. Yes, because if we're going to be liking Nigeria if we're going to be looking at Nigeria with the situation that Nigeria has gone through and what we have passed through, Nigeria has really what's the word?
We really have
pressures, and we cannot afford to fail now.
Oh, of course.
So if Daddy, like we said, if our president is saying that we should do look, please let's listen to Daddy, because I remember that
it's a word of wisdom, actually.
Yes, because I remember if by the visuals that I've seen, there used to be a time in Nigeria that you have pictures of past leaders at Tinubu Square. I saw pictures from my father's, library, and I saw CMS, Tinubu Square. I'm like, is this Nigeria? Nigeria,
really
so beautiful. So what happened to those memories? So I think it's a time for real retrospection and reflect on the way forward for Nigeria. So what are the things that we need to get right? What are the things that we should improve upon? Look at our health sector, our education sector, every sector that needs to be touched by the hand of God and by the hand of the president. The current this dispensation, I think it's a wake-up call for Nigerians to sit up. And there used to be a time, maybe in the 80s, they used to do Ashoibi for
independence. Everybody wearing the green and white.
Exactly.
But it is still celebrated that way in some parts of the world, or part of the Nigeria.
Yeah.
You will see some
Nigerians
people.
in diaspora.
Yeah. You will see them wearing the green and white. Some of them carrying the flags round. That is where even the flag, these little flags of 200 naira will become 500 naira because everybody wants to buy and put the cap.
Yes.
See, let me tell you something with Nigerians. It is still happening. Last year it happened. That is why I'm even saying it. For the fact that we are complaining that Nigeria is not doing us well, it is our country. And if we need to celebrate it, people come out actually to celebrate.
Do we have anywhere to go else than our Nigeria?
Of course,
this is home.
This is home. So we need to be proud of what we have.
Speaking of what you're saying, we need to be proud of what we have. I mean, growing up, I can see that there were pictures, visuals of people who used to wear jackets from the US. When are they going to start wearing our jackets in the US, which is Nigerian jackets? Yes, when are they when are they going to start that?
But trust me, we are penetrating. We are penetrating. Have you checked?
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, let me go a little, on a lighter note. I checked, I was watching some movies over the weekend. Do you know the way they were projecting Nigeria in that movie, in those two movies? I was like, wow, we've gone far.
Positive
No,
projection?
I am like positive projection. They were talking about the wealth in Nigeria. They were talking about coming to Nigeria to invest. And this
friendliness of
yes, they were talking about our market. They were talking about, like, they showed some of the markets. They were talking about our suya, how they enjoy eating the suya. They were calling their friends and family there to tell them, I am enjoying Nigeria and the culture, like everything. They were projecting Nigeria. I'm like, we are actually going somewhere, but our people need to understand that, it is gradually we are going to get where we want to get. It is not a magic. We can't just sit down, close our eyes, and the next thing we are there. It is step by step. It is a process. And trust me, we are going somewhere already.
Tante, speaking of that, Femi, I'm going to go back to you.
But I hope,
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Something Tante said earlier on, which I really love. I held on to it when she said it. Concerning that man that poured hot water on
the child.
She said we need to think of the consequences of our actions. So I want to say to Nigerians now that, please, at this time, talking about the reflection that even Damilola has mentioned, let us reflect, and then in our reflections, let us remember that whatever we do has consequences. Whatever actions we take in those positions that we find ourselves, let's remember that there are going to be consequences. That will transcend even our own lifetimes. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to remember that there's going to be a day when we're going to have to give account of our actions to God. So maybe when we reflect in this direction, maybe a lot of people who are going around, doing the bad things, those ones who are really causing problems for the nation, perhaps God can touch them, and then they begin to do new things. In this new year.
It's something coming to my head. Me, I like my country. I like the land and people. Everything there for Nigeria. Make Nigeria better. And beautiful rendition of music. And I wonder why we are still here. Nigeria has everything. Who sang that song? I like my country, I like the land, I like the people, everything in Nigeria. We have bitumen, we have everything, we have
natural resources.
We have truly patriotic Nigerians who really and truly love Nigeria. And we have people who are just saying, I love Nigeria on the lips. It is not from their heart.
I agree.
If they have any opportunity, they want to leave Nigeria because of their mindset, because of their environment, because of what has happened to them. Our situation sometimes defines what comes out of us, how we conduct ourselves, how we think, and how we react to things. Sometimes you will see someone, the same thing will happen. The way I will react to it is going to be different from the way Dami reacts to it. So if a government is coming with something, we should know that it is actually someone who is there, and his thinking might not be the same with your own thinking, but it doesn't mean that at the end his result is wrong. So we should always give ourselves, a little bit of room to even make mistakes. Sometimes we don't give the government breathing space. Our president said he wants the poor people to breathe, and it was taken for a joke. But he meant what he was saying, and he's out with it. He has been open with it. implementing some things, just implementing some policies just for people to be comfortable. But all these things he is implementing cannot just happen immediately. We should have the patience that at the end, whatever it is, the Nigeria we are crying for will come back. Dami is asking what has happened to the Nigeria of before. Exactly. It is still Nigeria. We are evolving, we are growing, things are changing. It doesn't stop. And we've been crying about change. We are not even ready for the change we Nigerians are asking for. Because to be honest, if you are ready for change, the readiness for change is hard.
The Z generations want iPhone 15. In 1980s or 1970s, did we have people looking for iPhone 15s?
What are you saying? 19 what?
Even have
in the 2000s.
Yeah, people didn't even have telephones, and they were still communicating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you will go and see your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Pardon me. You will go and see them, and you will take a bus, a Molue, or I don't know the transportation system.
No matter the little information you're passing,
and you will go and check. You know, then hello, you will say to me, Dami, how are you on phone? They would walk all the way. They will go from Oworonshoki to Lagos Island, from Lagos Island to Morocco, and you will go there safe and come back happy. And that is what I'm saying. In this new Nigeria, we are saying, we even have the phone, you don't even check on. How many times have you checked on me?
Have you checked on me?
So you know what I'm saying? So now we need to look into all of this. We need a level of orientation. We can't take that away. Nigerians need to be reorientated. The woman selling tomatoes needs to know that Tinubu is our president, but he is doing the best possible within the power, the power, yes, to get things right. Because we can't get these things within 2 months now. Let's be practical. We can't get it sorted. Nigeria is not the kind of country where you say, I'm giving everybody 50,000 every month, and it will happen. How? Because Tante, you will want the 50K. Femi, you will want 50K. Me, ma, even if I have any money, I want the 50K, because Nigerians are like that.
What are you saying? Some people want
our senators, we want the 50K.
Some people want the 50K double
now. You know? Yeah, so that's the new Nigeria we have formed. So we need to change our mindset again. We need to see Nigeria that we're now 63 and we are likening ourselves to the US, to the UK. They've been there. US is 100 and something years, and we are just 63 in our official age. So we cannot, compare ourselves to the US.
And then, sorry to cut you down.
Yes.
I before I forget this, I believe in prayers a lot. I think Nigerians should also go back to praying for the government, because initially it got to a stage where a lot of people were saying, what's the benefit of praying for the government? They are just there doing nonsense, up and down, blah blah blah. Okay, good. Some of them may have done badly.
Yes.
But I believe the prayers can still work. I'm sure you read it this morning that the president called for prayers on this day as we celebrate
the Eid al-Maulud. Yes.
We cannot cut off prayers
at all
from the desire to get things working. Because the God factor is always there. We are religious people.
Yes.
So please, I want to use this opportunity of today to tell some Nigerians who are out there saying there's no need to pray for the government again. Please
pray. Let's pray because Nigeria needs prayer right now.
Because when you are praying for something, it's not even sure you are going to quickly get what you're
the results,
or that you're even going to get it. But when you now start doing the opposite, it's going to get worse. That's my take.
True. Well, we've said that, and there's another one we're looking at again, Tante.
Well, before we go into that, China also, talking about our Independence Day and how we celebrate the Independence Day, and China also, is celebrating its National Day on same October 1st,
really?
And usually they always celebrate. They come together with Nigerians to celebrate their National Day in Nigeria here, and we had some of our reporters who went there, to take on the event, the event was actually very beautiful. Nigeria culture, Chinese culture in Nigeria, it is just so beautiful. So I think we'll just have to take it, and when we come back, we'll continue what we have. So let's just see what Nigerians and the China did yesterday on the 26th of September, 2023.
China National Day is celebration of monumental proportions, filled with a grand parade, vibrant fireworks, and a sea of red flags. It commemorates the founding of the People's Republic of China on October 1st, 1949, when Chairman Mao Zedong proudly proclaimed the establishment of a new era for the nation. Since then, this day has been a symbol of unity and patriotism, where the Chinese people come together to reflect on their remarkable journey of transformation and growth.
Troops and others from the Chinese community in Nigeria, providing financial support for Nigeria cataract sufferers to regain their eyesight. All this made me even more certain that China-Nigeria cooperation has a broad prospect and a great hope. At last month, China-Africa Leaders Summit, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced initiative on supporting Africa's industrialization, plan for China supporting Africa's agriculture modernization, and plan for China-Africa cooperation on talent cooperation development.
Meanwhile, on October 1st, hold immense significance for the people of Nigeria as it marks the day they reclaim their sovereignty from British colonial rule in 1960. Nigeria's journey to independence was marked by struggle, sacrifice, and a relentless pursuit of self-determination.
Atlantic Ocean. So we believe that with a little dredging, part of the facility that the industrial park will be a seaport that will give access to the sea. It's going to be an export processing zone, and it's also going to be a free trade zone,
which has about 5,000 people, enterprises in the Chinatown. We also have the deep sea port, they're also part of it. We collaborate with China in so many areas. And you had somebody I gave a prize to that said they're also interested in education in Lagos State. Of course, you know that usually Lagos is the first destination of anybody coming in because we have the largest population and because it's a very vibrant city, everybody wants to invest and we are willing to always collaborate with the Chinese government to make sure that Lagos is better, we achieve the greater Lagos dream that we want to achieve.
However, these two celebrations, though occurring on the same day, represent different history and aspirations. China National Day symbolizes its remarkable journey from revolution to a global superpower, while Nigeria Independence Day celebrates its hard-fought battle for freedom and the rich tapestry of its cultural heritage. Benga Oluyede, reporting for Alive Television News, Lagos.
That is actually a beautiful and colorful event, and as you can see, Nigerians were wearing their green and white, and the Chinese people are doing their thing. The coming together is the beautiful thing, you know, it is very beautiful and unique. So we really appreciate, you know, this oneness all coming together. Even the SSG to the Lagos State government was there, you know, just for us to see that there's unity there, you know. So we really appreciate that. So.
After all, we've been eating their Chinese rice.
And then if I may say this, I noticed that the Chinese people, they value their culture a lot.
Very well.
So I would want to seize this opportunity to also encourage Nigerians that no matter how much of English,
we shouldn't throw away our culture.
Western culture you imbibe, don't throw away. That's Dami has just said.
Yeah, we should not throw away our culture. Yeah. Okay, before we get our phone conversation with Professor Abidin, Dami, do you have something you need to talk about?
Yeah, we have to look at a particular topic. PDP, Atiku, Chicago State University, and Tinubu. You know, we need to talk about it. The certificate saga, Tinubu, Atiku is asking that they should produce the academic certificate and information of Tinubu. And Tinubu is saying they should hold on his, I mean, for crying out loud, it's his personal information. I mean, no one is talking about Atiku's information now. And I'm wondering, is it because President Tinubu became the president? Is why everybody is seeking? They should just allow that president breathe.
You know,
they should allow him breathe. You know,
as he's like, he wants the pot to breathe.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he should also allow. And I just feel like, you know, the PDP and its candidates are probably they are heartbroken. They are not happy.
Yeah.
So we don't expect, or the APC government should not expect that they are going to come easy on them. Of course, a verdict has been given. There is judgment already. So what are you saying? Why are you going back to, you know, something that there is no need for it now, actually, if you ask me. I don't really know why he still talks about it. Even though Nigerians are saying for him to clear himself, he should just do it. But it's for what benefit now? Because there is a judgment already. Tinubu is already the president. So why are we going back to old wounds or going back to one thing over and over again?
Some Nigerians to believe that Buhari, former president of the Federal Republic, was actually a particular person from Sudan, who is actually, you know, for some Nigerians to believe,
we Nigerians can actually
that it was cloned. I mean, it would make them also believe that someone in the level of the current president of Nigeria, President Ahmed Tinubu, would have gone to a Chicago university and actually say he attended
when he
didn't. How would you think so cheap of someone like that? I mean, why would you, even Tante, you would say you went to a particular, or I will say I attended a particular school in this our Nigeria. Won't you find out?
You know, most times,
they have
thought,
Nigeria.
You know, some of the politicians have actually given wrong certificates. Given certificates that are not there, false certificates, and that is why sometimes, if you notice it, most of these politicians, especially the presidents, you know, most times they go for them. Give us a certificate. We want to see it. They are just looking for something that they can do to hold onto the person to say you are not qualified to be here. They have said it that he should go down. He should resign from being the president because he could not provide a proof that he has gone to, you know, the Chicago State University in 1979. So we really need to calm down sometimes, you know, for the government, for whatever it is. There was an election and somebody won. Let's have rest.
True.
Let it be time for rest now. Atiku should just go and rest, please.
The two of them should rest, honestly, because Nigeria, we have gone through a lot already. We want a way forward. Nigeria has gone through a lot. Talk about the fuel crisis before now. Talk about the inflation. Talk about the dollar. Talk about everything that Nigeria has gone through. So I don't think at this stage we should be, you know, crying over or harassing the president of the Federal Republic. We are not going to do anything with the certificate anyway. Has he performed before? Yes. Is he performing
And that's
now?
actually a distraction. Actually,
yes, it
now
is a
he has
distraction.
a lot of things he needs to deal with.
And he's been coming on strong. I mean, before now I would have thought they were playing him down to be very critical in his health, that his health was really poor. And now we can see a president that can even climb the mountain of Mount Everest. You know, this is a president that is going up and around. He's been working. Yes. So I don't think we need distractions right now.
Okay, I agree with you. And then I'll quickly just say this, just speaking from what you said, you see, it's not like it is that certificate that is going to make him to perform. He's, I believe, capable of performing outside of that certificate that Nigerians are haranguing him for. So perhaps we should just hold on a little.
I think we have someone actually who wants to react
Well,
to this.
I think before we continue with our discussion, we have our guest already waiting for us online, so we'll have to talk to him. We have Professor Abidin Olaito.
No, we have that's
okay. We have Goke Olaye.
Yes, Dr. Solomon Olagoke Olaye. Nice to have you.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Olaye Solomon Olagoke.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have been. All right, thank you. We are talking about, you know, the certificate of the president from the Chicago State University that the PDP and its candidate is asking the president to provide. What do you have to say about, you know, the situation?
in the first instance, what does the PDP wants to do with the certificate of the president or even the flag bearer? The certificate will have been it will have been a good tool or a needed tool for them when they were at the tribunal or even before they went to the tribunal. Because if you want to look at the certificate of anybody who has contested any election or is preparing to contest any election, you consider it a pre-election matter. And if it's a pre-election matter, it means such should be tried or should be looked into at the regular courts. But if you now feel, yes, this man has used this certificate and has contested the election, and you want to test the waters, you can, at best, test it in the tribunal. As far as I am concerned, the tribunal has wound up, the tribunal has concluded his hearings and has given his judgment, and it is the judgment of the tribunal that the appeal court is going to look into. You are not going to start debating or start any argument at the court of appeal. So what they are looking for, what they are chasing, is just a wild chase. It's a wild goose chase. So they are just wasting their time. And of course, the Chicago State University has come out on a number of times telling whoever cares to know and hear that this man finished from the school and the school awarded him a bachelor's degree. So what are they looking for? What are they looking for exactly?
All right.
And as the flag bearer of PDP, has he provided his own certificate? Exactly. What was the certificate that he has a diploma, just a diploma, and he became the deputy controller of custom in this country? How come somebody with a diploma becomes a deputy controller of custom?
Dr. Olaoye, thank you for hitting the nail on the head. I mean, I would want to even ask you, do you think this is a distraction to this government?
Pardon?
Do you think this is a distraction to this government?
Honestly, that is their plan. All they are trying to do is to distract the president. But the truth of the matter is, if you look at when the case was even at the tribunal, the president was less concerned. So they should just forget it. They are only wasting their time and wasting their resources. But unfortunately, a few people that should be enjoying their meal are distracted. You understand? Yeah. So for all they care, they should continue. Maybe Atiku is planning for another election in 2027. I don't know if he will be alive till that time. I don't pray he dies. But if someone of Atiku's age is thinking of planning for 2027, I think the affairs and pastors that he's close to should rather call him, pray for him, and tell him to exercise some patience.
All right, thank you, Doctor. And what do you have to say to all Nigerians out there who are also saying, yes, they believe that Tinubu is not faking the result, but since APC or since PDP wants the result out, he should provide the result. What do you have to say to them?
Nigerians should not forget that Atiku did the same thing to former President Goodluck Jonathan. It is on record that Atiku was chasing the university where Jonathan finished from, looking for what is not. Tinubu has worked in very, very renowned organizations, either as an auditor or as an accountant. What more do Nigerians want? The qualification for the office of the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria is just a senior school leaving certificate. So if somebody has had a diploma and has told you that, yes, I went to the Chicago State University and the school is not in any denial of that, Deji, who used to be a very big critic of the APC and Asiwaju has gone to the same school, the school has told Deji, that young man, this man finished from here. What more do you need?
And you know something,
my mom, for example, my mom lost all her certificates in one inferno about 3 years ago. She retired as a headmistress of a primary school in my local government. Will somebody stand up tomorrow morning that because my mother could not provide her certificate that she did not go to any school? No, it's not possible. The records are there and they are easily verified. They are easily verified. You can verify them. They are verifiable. So what is the problem? Nigerians should relax. The president has started very well. One way or the other, we are having some hardship, which we believe with the help of God, the president is going to take us through and get us out of. So Nigerians should give their support. This is a president that has shown that he listens. This is a president that has shown capacity. This is a president that has shown us that he has the best of hands that can work with him and work for him and work for the good of Nigeria.
Dr. Lau, sir.
Nigerians should be ready to support the president for good.
Thank you,
you
sir.
very much.
Do you have projections for this government, sir?
By the grace of God, the first thing I want this government to face, which I believe, which is my own projection for them, is the economy. Everything in this country depends on the economy of Nigeria. Nigeria has largely been dependent on the Europeans, on the United States government, and a whole lot of others. And for so many years, everything we consume has always been imported. In other words, we are a consuming economy. So my projection for this government is that this government should take Nigeria out of this level of economy to a productive economy. Let Nigeria stand as is being prime as the number one in Africa, the pride of Africa. Nigeria should start a productive economy. We have the crude oil. We are not giving any facelift to any economy. We are not improving it. I mean, the crude oil. For crude oil, as we tap crude oil, we must go a step further to refine the crude oil. We cannot be giving crude oil to other countries and they are sending it back to us with the byproducts for us to buy again at exorbitant amounts. Nigeria has the capacity to extract this crude oil, refine the crude oil, and sell this to the Europeans and other African countries. And by so doing, Nigeria is going to come back alive and come back strong and come back again.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now, sir, I would just quickly want to ask you this. What would be your suggestion to the government of President Tinubu as far as our foreign policy is concerned? Because I know that the foreign policy of a nation, goes, a long extent or a long way in affecting the fortunes of that nation.
Thank you very much. You see, of all the presidents we've had since the year 2003, you will agree with me that when it comes to looking for somebody who is prepared for the job, you can talk of no other person than President Tinubu. President Tinubu has started very well with regards to foreign policies. You can see that President Tinubu has visited a number of countries, not just going there for visiting sake or for going there to just make speeches. He has been visiting, making his speech, and getting things to Nigeria, bringing things, good tidings and good things for Nigeria. Of course, President Tinubu will need to have a very good team of ambassadors, especially in Europe and in other Western countries. For them to push the foreign policy of the federal government and stay in line with the policy of the federal government with regards to foreign policies.
Thank you, sir. As a medical professional that you are, sir.
Yes.
What do you think with the current situation of our medical space in Nigeria? Seeing this administration, you have believed in this government, and what do you think would happen in the nearest future as regards medical?
sincerely, with regards to the medical sector, things are horrible. Things are bad. Things are, in fact, nothing to write home about. But again, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is somebody who puts round peg in the round holes. I have absolute trust in the current Minister of Health, Ali Pate, and of course, you must have been hearing Ali Pate saying we must do everything in our power to halt medical tourism. And for us to halt medical tourism, number one, we must develop our infrastructure. I give you an instance. The UNESCO has suggested that the budgetary provision for health should be between 20 and 26% of the national budget. Nigerian government, as of 2001, agreed to at least make a projection of 15% of the national budget since 2001. And of course, successive government in Nigeria has not in any way put that really into black and white. As I talk today, the budgetary provision for health for 2023 is not about 7% of our national budget. But of course, that is what we have. That is what we have to run with for now. And again, even the president that left, apart from making budgetary provision of 7%, the cash backing was not even there. So we have now had a president who has brought in good Minister of Health, and who I believe is going to give free hand to work in his ministry. I am very confident that the next national budget definitely will hit the 15% mark budgetary allocation, and definitely there will be cash backing. If there can be good health financing, definitely infrastructure will improve and Nigerians will get better access. Again, I give you example of health accessing. Many Nigerians today are still accessing health with the cash in their pocket. It is difficult for you to access health, believing that you are going to pay from your pocket.
Well, thank you.
What we should be promoting and what this new government needs to promote is health insurance. We should encourage family health insurance. We should encourage group health insurance. People do cooperative society, and in their cooperative society, they have pool of funds that is enough to even give people times 2, times 3. There is nothing that will stop them if they are encouraged to pick part of this money, enroll their members in group health insurance, and have health insurance for all of them throughout the year. With little money, you get comprehensive health insurance. So the government should encourage community health insurance. The government should encourage group health insurance. The government should encourage family health insurance. And in fact, the federal government should bring out funds to register the vulnerable for government-initiated health insurance program.
Very well
if
captured,
we can
sir.
go this way, make good budgetary provision, give cash backing, encourage people to have health insurance. Definitely Nigeria is going places.
Of course.
Again, I must not forget the one that concerns me so much, the Japa syndrome is really giving us a lot of problems. There's a lot of staff attrition. And the reason why we have the Japa syndrome among doctors and other healthcare providers is just because they are poorly remunerated. If the government can sit down with the NMA, the ARD, the NAC, MDP, the AMDO and all that, sit with them, look at what their counterparts abroad are getting. There is nothing too much to pay for health. Doctors in Nigeria are now dying. Some people are running 72 hours call, after which they just slump and they go. You understand?
Yeah.
So if we can, the only way out of Japa syndrome is for us to retain the ones that we have. And to retain the ones that we have, you have to remunerate them properly. There must be proper placement of our healthcare providers. You have to pay them well. If they are paid well, nobody is interested in going to serve another man as a slave. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
you so
Doctor,
much,
for these lights that you have shared. I've really have seen better light in some of the things you have talked about. So we really appreciate your opinion on this program.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to actually.
You know, it is amazing. You know how he is in the medical line. A lot of things are happening in the medical line. It is not like the medical sector is okay, but this is something, or someone, sorry, rather, who is coming out to say positive about this government. I really like his positivity. It is not well. Things are not going on well. He said it, but he is still positive about the government. He has said it since 2003. You know, this is the government that has really come out to say, okay, I am working with the people. I am doing it for you. And we are evidently seeing, you know, step by step what he is trying to put in place for us. Even though where he is, his line is not okay, but he still believes that things are going to be okay. And that's what we've been preaching since morning. That no matter what it is, no matter what we are facing as Nigerians, we should also be positive that things are going to come out well.
Absolutely.
You know,
and somebody actually said something recently, which I just came to my mind now. He said sometimes, you know, depending on the situation, it may have to get worse before it gets better.
Yes, it definitely has to get worse before it gets better.
You get in the night.
Get better.
Yeah.
Stay with it. And
Yes, we should. I think we should.
All right. I think right now we'll have to go on a short
break.
break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the discussion. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Stay with us.
Maiden trip, and it has to go smoothly. I have my card, and I'm hoping that everybody has.
At the breaking of the day, I thank my maker, say I see today. The
My
clouds.
experience on the train, this is a welcome development, you know, for Lagos. It was really, it was fast, and then we're able to get to our destination pretty okay. You know, with this new innovation, I believe that traffic management will be way better in Lagos. Overall experience, it's an amazing innovation, and I look forward to more innovations like this in Lagos. Thank you.
From the fury of yesterday to fade.
The experience was very electrifying, very interesting. The students we brought really enjoyed the experience. We are from Lagos State Resident Registration Agency. Our card, like ID card, could also be used to board the train. My experience was very smooth. The landing was very subtle. I really enjoyed it. And for commuters coming in from 2 to Marina, it's going to be a smooth ride. You have nothing to worry about. Understand that it's a fully energized train. Okay, so the speed and the travel time will be really reduced, unlike maybe flying a BRT or a public bus. It's going to be a very subtle experience.
So excited. It was her first trip on the train today, and we came from Egomu to Marina, and it was very smooth.
Was it seamless?
It was seamless.
Did you enjoy the Wi-Fi as well?
Yeah. Oh, there is Wi-Fi.
There's free Wi-Fi. There's free Wi-Fi.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare, the federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the secretariat. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalinde before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Maiden trip and it has to go smoothly. I have my card and I'm hoping that everybody has.
At the breaking of the day, I thank my maker, say I see today.
My experience on the train, this is a welcome development, for Lagos. It was really, it was fast, and then we were able to get to our destination pretty okay. With this new innovation, I believe that traffic management will be way better in Lagos. Overall experience, it's an amazing innovation, and I look forward to more innovations like this in Lagos. Thank you.
From the fury of yesterday to fame.
The experience was very electrifying, very interesting. The students we brought really enjoyed the experience. We are from Lagos State Resident Registration Agency. Our card, like ID card, could also be used to board the train. My experience was very smooth. The landing was very subtle. I really enjoyed it. And for commuters coming in from 2 to Marina, it's going to be a smooth ride. You have nothing to worry about. Understand that it's a fully energized train. Okay, so the speed and the travel time will be really, really reduced, unlike maybe flying a BRT or a public bus. It's going to be a very subtle experience.
So excited. It was her first trip on the train today, and we came from Egomu to Marina, and it was very smooth.
Was it seamless?
It was seamless.
Did you enjoy the Wi-Fi as well?
Yeah. Oh, there is Wi-Fi.
There's free Wi-Fi. There's free Wi-Fi.
I'm not cutting it. Welcome back from the break. We've been talking about, the certificate of President Tinubu, and the opposition party have been asking, the PDP have been asking Tinubu and APC to provide his certificate, and which has brought up a lot of controversy. People are saying, it is a done deal. Why are you coming back to say Tinubu should provide his certificate? And we have another analyst here. We have someone who will be talking to us. He is Professor Abidin Olaiton, He's a seasoned academician with a wealth of experience in crop of production. And we'll be talking about Professor Abidin. Are you here with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. We'll be talking about, we want to know your own opinion about the Chicago State University situation, APC and its candidate PDP and its candidate asking APC and its candidate to provide a certificate. What do you think about, this development?
Well, in a democratic setting, there's nothing we can do by denying somebody to ask for whatever he feels is right. But going by the political judgment that have been passed so far, there's nothing that an opposition party can bring about either in certificate or in other qualification of another party's candidate that we say true. A judgment has been passed at even the Supreme Court that candidates of another party cannot come to the court and start arguing about the qualification or the certificate of another candidate that emerged from another party. Being that as it may, the Constitution and the INEC requirement is so clear that the minimum requirement for somebody to contest for election is there, and it is only the university that can deny a particular candidate. So once the university has affirmed that a particular candidate attended its institution and they have issued him a certificate, all these are just child's play. If any other third party who is not an institution of learning, nor the party that produces that candidate is asking a question about the qualification or certificate of that candidate. Any other person doing that is just wasting their time.
Professor, sir, thank you.
And coming to the fact of President Tinubu's certificate, the university has affirmed that they attended their school and they have issued him a certificate. I don't see any issue coming out of it other than just academic exercise.
Okay, well, we can see from every indication that the PDP flag bearer, Atiku, has been held then. I mean, he really wants this particular certificate. I mean, is there any reaction? Do you have reaction to that? Would you react to that?
It is just holding on to the tissues. Even if the candidate, the candidate is not qualified, it is the INEC that can disqualify a particular candidate, not candidate of another party. The law is so clear, the current judgment from the Supreme Court. APC also asked about the candidature of a Labour Party in the election. And the Supreme Court said that it is not their business to ask about the qualification of the Labour Party candidate. It's so clear. It is only the INEC that can say a particular candidate has presented either a forged certificate or illegal certificate, or the candidate has not produced the minimum qualifications to contest election. Supreme Court was so clear on it. So it's just holding on to the issues. It doesn't hold any water.
Okay, so is there a possibility that there is an ulterior motive for this particular candidate in the PDP or the Labour Party candidates?
Of course, it is obvious that it is for ulterior motive. But what I'm saying is that even that ulterior motive cannot be satisfied going by what is on ground. That's why I say it is just holding on to the issues. Okay, if the motive, what the motive could be to disqualify President Tinubu from contesting an election that he has won or disqualifying him from being the winner of the election on the basis of he doesn't possess that certificate, which the university has affirmed that he possesses. So there's nothing they can get out of it.
So this is just...
If the university denies that candidate does not possess that certificate, it is a case of in the case of Dino Melaye too. The university, you have to come to certify that he possesses the certificate, they give him that certificate.
Okay, so what do you think we should do to this Atiku, the likes of Atiku, the likes of Peter Obi? What should we rest the case, or what should happen, or what are your opinion, or what do you opine, sir?
The two of them did not even present any higher institution certificate. You see, because they know that their certificate may be bring a bottleneck for them. But this is somebody that presented a certificate from the university, and the university has come up to say that this candidate attended our university and we gave him that certificate.
All right, Professor Abidin, I can see, of course, you have wealth of experience in crop production, and I am sure, with the recent Nigeria and with what is happening in Nigeria, every sector has its challenges, because of what is happening, because of the economic challenge. So what do you have to say about, this sector?
Yes, Senator Tinubu works in ExxonMobil, works in so many multinationals. They wouldn't have given me that job without certificate. Do they just pick somebody from the street and give him that job? Even that certificate is just for him to be able to do those jobs he did in all those places. As president of Nigeria, he doesn't need even a certificate to be a chartered accountant or whatever to become the president of Nigeria. So I am not seeing anything coming out of this issue. I'm not seeing anything coming out of it.
So what is your advice to Atiku and, the camp of the PDP, about...
They should just accept that they are defeated in that election and prepare for future elections.
All right.
That's just the only advice I can give. I'm also a politician. I have run in election severally where I was defeated. Heaven did not fall. So they're talking about a certificate of somebody that has worked for more than 3 decades, 4 decades in a multinationals that will ascertain the certificate that he issued for them, because they want to give him a job that requires somebody who has attained or undergone a training in that discipline. So they are the ones that even take it serious. As far as Nigeria is concerned, if somebody just had a school start and has worked in an establishment for, even you as a clerical officer, you can contest and become the president of Nigeria without being a chartered accountant or a graduate. So Nigeria doesn't even need those certificates.
So you're saying qualification of a leader doesn't have to... So you're saying qualification... So you're saying to qualify to be a leader doesn't need you to have a certificate, right?
Yes, but in fact, Tinubu is overqualified. He has been a former governor in the state. He has been a former governor, former senator. What else do you want to say that he's not qualified?
So you're a professor, sir. And I believe that with your wealth of experience, you can give us a future in this government, because I can see how much you have confidence in the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So what would be your focus, should I say your projections for this government come 2024 or 2025?
Hello, come again. The question.
So your projection economically, politically, generally, what's your projection of this government in the next 2024? What do you see from your academic point of view, sir? What do you think, or what do you see?
Well, in terms of political outlook, the president is saying is coming up with a government of national competence. We are watching a step in the composition of his cabinet. Even though a good number of people who work for him are still complaining, but we still know that it's a development. He has not spent 6 months, so we may not be able to evaluate him very well. In terms of economic activity, what we need in Nigeria is to start producing things that will make Nigeria to be competitive in balancing of trade with the other countries, so that we will not need as much dollars, because all our money are being dollarized now. This inflation that is coming in is because we rely so much on foreign importing things from foreign countries. Whereas God has blessed us that 90% of what we need, we can produce it, especially in terms of food and technology. You will see somebody coming up from Nigeria to another country and they are doing well. So it is basic infrastructure that is not available, that is not making us to be able to produce or perform to the level that we can be self-sustaining. These are things that the government needs to do economically.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor, for your thoughts on the program today. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. The professor has said, beautifully this morning too about the certificate and all that is happening. It is more like we are done with that. So we should move ahead. If you don't move ahead, there's no way you can grow. So if you've grown past somewhere, just know that you've grown past it. Yes. Another good thing will come. But if you're still stuck in a place, you are stuck, which means you are actually stuck. Nothing is going to move. So I think the PDP and its candidates should move already. And that is, the thought of so many people already this morning.
Well, Femi, do you want to say something before I react to this?
Yes, I think I would want to agree with Tante. You see, we need to move forward. And then for you to be able to do that, you need to... There was something I think the professor said, that, you need to understand that judgment has been given, by the appropriate institution. And then you cannot begin to backtrack or begin to follow that up again. It will be like flogging a dead horse, so to speak. So we need to put all hands on deck so that...
To push Nigeria
and it shows incompetency on the part of the judiciary, because they have given a verdict and you're coming to say no. This thing, and the case has been there already, talking about the certificate, and they've been flogging that issue for a long time before the final verdict was given. So if the judiciary did not see it as a thing,
as an impediment,
yes, as an impediment to say, okay, Tinubu cannot stand, then you understand.
Yeah.
So it is really,
speaking of this particular, what you just said, reacting to that, we can see from every indication when former President Donald Trump was president, some people had issues with him being president.
Absolutely.
And as soon as he became president, they backed out.
Yeah, that's it.
So I would expect that Mr. Atiku or Alhaji Atiku, Mr. Peter Obi, they should just calm down. They should allow the president breathe.
And the president has said it already. He said they can come together, bring their initiative, bring their ideas, so that we can grow Nigeria.
Them to come together with their initiative.
We are one Nigeria.
No, you know why? This government has a direction.
As its own
we can see from every indication, it's very clear that, there are objectives. What is the rationale behind whatever Mr. Alhaji is bringing in or the other party is bringing in? If we don't have a future or we don't have a picture of where we are going to, then there's a problem. But we have a picture of where we are going to. The glorious days of Nigeria is ahead. We can see it.
Yeah, but well, the president is doing that for them to know that, yes, he is open for whatever contribution they have, for the benefit of Nigeria too.
If they have been really hell-bent on saying, look, go and bring the president's they want to see, what do they want to do with the president's certificate? I want to see Atiku's certificate. I want to see Peter Obi's certificate, because if they claim that they want to serve Nigeria, we want to see it. You understand? That's the look, that's the visual now that we are trying to project. We want a better Nigeria. We have a president. Why not move?
Absolutely.
Move from there.
And I also feel
the man is a serial. I'm sorry. He is always contesting every year. I mean, I see in him our Abraham
He's a serial
Lincoln.
contester.
Yes, our Abraham Lincoln. Maybe in another 5 years or 4 years. Who knows? He has the passion to serve, but let him cool down.
Sorry, let me just quickly chip in this before Tante comes in again. Do you know that it's absolutely important that both of them begin to see, that it will be better, since Damilola said it may not be okay to say they should come into the government and all that. It's okay, I agree with her. But they should do what people call constructive criticism. They can critique,
constructively
President Tinubu's administration constructively, such that they would eventually be contributing
to the states.
If truly their intention or desire for the nation is for us to have that beautiful
that growth
Nigeria that Damilola has been painting to us, which most of us believe in, then they should do that.
Yes.
Instead of taking us back.
I concur 100% to that. I agree with you.
So
taking us back and forth, and with no result at the end of it.
Honestly.
So it is high time they stopped it. It is high time we moved on. And we are about celebrating Nigeria at 63. And you are our leaders. The young people are watching you. The young people are looking up to you. Lead in a way that we can be encouraged also to be good leaders. Yeah, to be good leaders. Because trust me, we see it. It can be afar, but we are learning.
Yeah.
Either good or bad, we are still learning.
Yeah.
So we have to know, our leaders have to know that we are watching and we are learning, good or bad. And if you don't do it now, as we are learning it, tomorrow we are still going to make the situation more difficult.
We used to see visuals of some of our brothers or uncles or daddies in the Senate. They actually fly from one table to another. Some of them even went through the fence. If you have pictorial memory, they jumped over the fence. And people are getting it in their head. That picture registered in my head, and is this a kind of leaders that we have, or lawmakers? If your lawmaker can jump the fence, who are you or myself? And I mean, not to learn. So we need to learn good. Just
I remember a program I used to watch, the Senate, before. Like when we were growing up, you will see how they are punching themselves, and my mom never jumps. Like she never she has to watch it every night. Like she has to watch and see what is happening, and most times it's just the drama that comes with it. I don't know if the drama is what is selling, I don't really know.
Our politics has a lot of dramatic undertones. If you don't have drama, you are not in politics. Look at the Melaye. Do you know Melaye? He's a dramatic politician.
He is.
And you look at the other man, his name, I don't want to murder his name, for Bayelsa name like that. They asked him to come about something about the money misappropriation of funds, and the man fainted. So we have political dramatists in this particular, in our Nigeria. So it's about time that we changed the narrative. It's about time we move. And I believe in this government. I don't know why, but I'm very optimistic that this government will take us to the zenith that we clamor for, that we pray for.
I just said it now. I think of the three of us here, you seem to be the most patriotic, because
I am.
That
I am.
You're giving us a feel of
I am.
October 1st.
Oh, yes. I'm a proud Nigerian. Anywhere in the world, I
forget this yellow is actually green, so forget it. I'm on my green. We are celebrating it. Nigeria is bright. That's why I'm wearing, the yellow.
I love my country.
We will. Yeah,
love
to be honest.
If you don't love your country, how can your country be good to you? How can it love you? You must love your country.
And if you love your
give so that you can get.
Yes,
you
can't
give
so
what
that
you
you can
don't have.
get.
If you don't have love, you can't get love. So you must have love. You must love Nigeria.
By
fire, by force.
Yes, so Dami has spoken and you have to listen to her. And before we go, let's quickly talk about something that the federal government has been doing. We've been talking about the good things that this government has been doing. And one of it is the mobile courts that the federal government wants to implement through the Ministry of Women Affairs, which I think is a good one.
Welcome.
Is a welcoming idea. Is a welcome idea because people have been complaining about sexual harassment, gender equality, and then the violence is becoming too much. And they are saying for them to, to take proper caution, or for them to, you've been talking about this thing for a long while now. But the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju, came out to say, okay, this is something that she feels, will help, since they've been trying to see ways they can reduce violence, sexual violence in Nigeria, because it's becoming way out of hand. You will see an old person, let me know. I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the word that is coming to my head. You cannot just see a young person, a young girl, a small girl, and you think you want to do something with that person. It is perverted and it's not good.
It's a shame. It
is a shame.
I mean, before now, I would have thought that I always go back to orientation. When a lot of people have orientation, I mean, our backgrounds can differ, but when we have orientation, the level of the mindset would change.
Absolutely.
If a man who wakes up in the morning to take kai, it takes the local gene, and his mental capacity could drop because of the level of the kai in the system. And he sees a woman who is just a young girl who is just less than 15, and he's aroused by
Are you talking about 15?
I said less than 15. Pardon me. And he lays with her and has
8 years, 7 years,
and has carnal knowledge of. I have seen one of 6 months. What would you use to penetrate a 6-month-year-old baby? And what justice are you going to get for a 6-month-year-old? So my worry is the level of orientation. I wouldn't call that a spiritual attack. It is the level of perversion. It is the level of malodorous, intentions. It stinks to high heaven. I wouldn't want to even talk about it. So I think to a large extent, if people pay dearly for this kind of act, if they pay dearly, they won't do it again. Imagine that some of them are sleeping with animals, in some part of the country.
And that is it. If you can sleep with an animal.
If they can sleep with an animal, they can do anything. Yes, they can do anything with human beings. So our women too, our girls too, please avoid certain people. Then the world or the people taking care of the guardians or the mothers, the fathers, please take care of your children. Don't allow them mix up with strangers. If you're not sure, they should always have someone to chaperone them and ensure that they're safe. But with that, I believe that with the mobile court, how many people, for instance, an 8-year-old, would she be able to communicate? I mean, if
no. Most times their guardian actually should be the ones to report. Yes, to report that type of issue. You were going to say something. I think you have to say something before we leave.
That much as I agree with everything that Damilola is saying, I with all due respect to women, that please, in terms of dressing too, women should.
Up their game.
The minister should do something about that. Some orientation should also go to some. It's not all women that dress like that, of course. But for those who do it, I think we need orientation for that also, as well as for those funny men who want to do stupid things with babies
I told
and
you.
kids, and it's really terrible. So
really-
once the orientation is in place, I believe it will also help. Ladies too, especially the youth, should dress properly so they don't begin to stimulate some of those
unnecessary
stimulation.
stimulation.
Know that on the psychology level,
Yes.
men react to what we see.
Yeah.
While women react to what
they hear.
Well, I think men should think. You should be thinkers. Please, you should channel your energy towards doing something better for yourself.
Because some women actually go all out to dress to kill.
But sorry, I'm so sorry.
Well, in as much as we have a lot to talk about, before we have a lot, somebody has been saying, hey, your time is out already and you're talking too much. So we really appreciate you, Fafi Ebi, for being here with us and for doing whatever we are doing here. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you very much. And Dami, what do you have to say to our viewers before we go?
As I always say, you have to stay alive, regardless of what you go through, regardless of your state of mind. Know that you're alive, and you must stay alive to be on Alive Television. My name is Damilola Aino. See you again.
Of course, we shall see you again another time, and we have had a swell time on the program today. Thank you very much for staying tuned and for going on the ride with us. We had a wonderful conversation, and I hope you learned something from it. So thank you very much, and we'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.
Bye.